Dear students, this class we will discuss on liquidation of companies, then introduction of liquidation of companies and liquidator final statements. Then, so what are the contents of this class? And first one, meaning of liquidation, features of liquidations, then who is liquidator or meaning of liquidator, and then mode of winding up of company, then order of payments, then liquidator of final statement of account, then meaning of liquidation. The setting up or closure of a company is done through a legal process under the purview of law. In other words, a company comes into being through the legal process and also comes to an end by law. Liquidation is the legal procedure by which the company comes to an end. Then features of liquidations. A company, if necessary, can be liquidated. In most cases, when the company attains the position of insolvency, the liquidation proceedings are applied to it, but it is not meant that only insolvent company can be liquidated. Sometimes even a solvent company can be liquidated in course of time. When liquidation takes place, assets of the company are realized, capital is collected, and out of the proceeds, claims of creditors are settled. If there is surplus left, it is returned to the shareholders of the company according to their rights. Then, who is liquidator or meaning of liquidator? The job of realizing various assets and paying various liabilities in a systematic manner is generally performed by a person called a liquidator. The appointment of liquidator depends upon the mode of liquidation. The winding up of the company. Section 425 subsection 1. The Companies Act provides that a company can be liquidated in any of the following three ways. Then mode of winding of company. Compulsory winding up company, winding up by tribunal or compulsory winding up by the court. Then voluntary winding up and winding up under supervision of court. Then first one, compulsory winding up by the court. So this is also called winding up by the court. This can happen when the company passes a special resolution or defaults in delivering the statutory report to the registrar, or in failing to conduct the statutory meeting, or does not commence business within a year from the date of incorporation, or it suspends business for a year, or the company members fall below 7 in case of public company, whereas in case of private company it is 2, or it is unable to pay its debts, or in the eyes of law it is just equitable to be wound up. Then next one, voluntary winding up. So there are two different modes of voluntary winding up. Then first one, members voluntary winding up. So members voluntary winding up takes place when a declaration of the company's solvency verified by an affidavit is made by its directors. In members voluntary winding up, the relevant control in the proceedings of the winding up is that of the members, while creditors it's vice versa. Then another one, creditors voluntary liquidations. When the declaration of solvency is not made and delivery to the registrar, it is presumed that his company is solvent, and the winding up is called the creditor's voluntary winding up. In creditor's voluntary winding up, creditors have a dominating control over the proceedings. Then another one, winding up subject to supervision of court. This mode of winding up is comparatively rare. It is a voluntary winding up under the supervision of court. The liquidator can continue to exercise his powers subject to any restrictions or conditions laid down by the court. The type of winding up is made to safeguard the interest of creditors and contributories or members of the company. Then order of payments. Then after the appointment of liquidator, the liquidator prepare the final statement and then order of the payments. The amounts realized from the assets not specifically pledged or the amounts contributed by the contributories must be distributed by the liquidator in the following order. Then expenses of winding up, including the liquidator remunerations, preferential creditors, creditors secured by floating charge on the assets of the company, unsecured creditors, the surplus, if any, among the preference shareholders and the equity shareholders according to their respective rights and interests. If still some surplus, if left, it is distributed as the follows. Then preferential shareholders, and then equity shareholders and preferential creditors. Then the order of payment. Then first one, expenses and remunerations for winding up of expenses and liquidator remunerations. It is the first payment of liquidation. Then second one, preferential creditors, then secured creditors, then unsecured creditors, then preferential shareholders and equity shareholders. That's all. So this is the liquidator final statement of account. So there are some receipts and payments. So receipts mean assets realized, and then payments by the priority or order of payments. And first one, legal charges, liquidation expenses and liquidator remunerations. So generally liquidator remunerations calculated in two different methods. Then on the basis of asset realized, and then before settlement of unsecured creditors. Then another payments for preferential creditors, debenture holders and unsecured creditors, then preference shareholders and equity shareholders. So this is the final statement of account prepared by liquidator. Okay, right, we see the next class.